It is May 5th, 2018. We're here at 3634 Chamoune Avenue in San Diego, California, 92105. We're here on the rooftop of the building. We didn't have any accessible cleanouts for the main sewer line. This vent right here that we're over the top of is for the new bathroom that was added. This is a 2-inch plastic ABS vent. There's a T-branch right here, and that leads over to catch the venting for the shower stall and the sink. A little bit of cobwebs there that should kind of wash off once we get down the line. Let's see here. A little bit of debris still on there. So this line is all ABS plastic. This is new. We can see this in the crawl space. You can see there's the toilet right there. That's the bottom of the china of the toilet, actually. So how they've got this vent line running and branched off, we can't make that turn. So you can see right here, we're coming to the bottom of the pipe. It goes left and right. They're supposed to use what's called a directional fitting or a combo T. They use a sanitary T, and so what it's doing is it's forcing our camera to go in the opposite direction it'd want to go. That's why we're coming up in the chine of the bowl. So can't get our camera to steer the opposite direction down this T-junction right here. But again, all this piping is exposed in the crawl space, so we're not worried about it. We kind of put this down there just to verify that the vent is connected, and also we did want to see that T-junction to make sure the lav sink and the shower stall were vented, and they are. So this is not perfect, but it doesn't really matter. In this case, the only thing we recommend is that you'd never want to have a plumber go up to this vent and snake the main line from here for this bathroom. You'd always want to try to go from the 2-inch lavatory sink drain, going through that trapway, or pulling the toilet, because just as you can see here, as my camera goes the wrong way, a cable could go the wrong way and come up and crack and break the toilet. Shouldn't hardly ever need to be probably snaked from this area anyway, because this is all new smooth plastic pipe. Our old cast iron is the other pathway of the system. So again, every time we try, we come up the opposite direction. So we're not going to be able to get that to feed across. So we're going to pause the video and move over to the kitchen. Okay, this is the kitchen vent. This is the original 2-inch cast iron. We may have some turns on this line, which may not allow us to make the entire run here, but same thing, we just want to check it as much as we can, see that it wasn't abandoned or anything. We do have a clean out on the outside wall of the kitchen. Okay, here's should be our last turn, we're hoping. Yeah, that's starting to drop down in, so we're not going to be able to push all the way, but again, we wanted to verify that there was actually a continuous connection here and that it wasn't cut off or abandoned in the wall. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video and move over to the main sewer. Okay, we've now moved over to the main bathroom, the original bathroom I should say. This is the original 4-inch cast iron vent. Now, here's our little branch right there, a T-branch that picks up the sink and the shower right there. We did turn on the water because it's a vacant unit, and then we went into the crawl space, and we did find that the 2-inch lavatory drain line is cracked and leaking into the crawl space, and the 4-inch cast iron pipe here right underneath the toilet that leads across is also completely cracked. Not fully leaking yet, but in very bad condition. Literally just disintegrated away. So we're now inside the horizontal run for the main sewer here. So this is the little bit of pipe that's partially exposed in the crawl space. So we can see some swelling on the pipe right there, and it's kind of flared out and flaking and peeling apart. That's the cast iron pipe completely failing, and you can see what it actually did is somebody flushed down, looks like a feminine hygiene product, a little bit of string and a little bit of towel there, and that feminine hygiene product actually snagged on the cast iron right there, where it's actually cracking and peeling and flaking apart there. So that's the bottom side of the wall, so there's no moisture coming out of that yet into the crawl space that was visible when we ran water, but the pipe right there is starting to get heavily corroded and again flaking apart. Just pulling back, looks like that's a piece of dental floss on the left side of the screen there. We're making sure that wasn't a small fine root. So the cast iron doesn't have a huge amount of buildup in deposits or scaling. As you can see, the inner diameter is still pretty circular and relatively smooth overall. We just have those couple pockets where it is starting to fail. Again, immediately in the crawl space, and then that few feet afterward where we could see that kind of flaking apart. Still completely functional right now, but it's going to need the repair in the crawl space area to start. The rest of the line so far, there we've got some roots intruding. So you can see on the upper side of the wall right there, all those little fine roots, those are all coming in through the cast iron pipe. So the pipe definitely is unfortunately at the end of its life. It can still be used right now, but we cannot guarantee how much longer, and if it does have to be snaked or hydrojetted, we can't guarantee that the walls of the pipe aren't going to start to fall or crumble in from that aggressive machining that would have to be done. So we'll pull back and locate where those roots are at and how deep the pipe is, but the pipe is failing and it's at the end of its life 100%. Still no other root intrusions right here so far. Small turn on the line. There's another little turn on the system. Looks like this might be our transition. There's a T-junction here. This would have been probably right at the property line, and this is going to probably be right where it turns into clay concrete pipe, and in fact that's what's happening. So we're going to push through this again. There we go. Now we're in this clay concrete pipe. So this is all new smooth pipe here. See these hubs. This actually looks like we got a little bit of water in the bottom of the pipe, but that's not a problem so far. Okay, we've made a lot of turns, and we tried to use our smaller camera with our medium-powered push rod. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause the video to run water down the line to help move this push camera down the pipe so we can get out to the city with this particular module. Okay, we've got water running now, so we're going to see if we're able to get out any further with this helping to move everything down the line. Looks like we're hitting a little hub connection, and it's holding up our camera still. We're able to move a couple feet, and then it's just stopping. There we go. We're going to push this very fast so we can just keep moving while we've got the inertia. And then we're at the end of the line here, so we're going to go ahead now and shut the water off. Pause the video while we go ahead and then pull the camera back. Okay, so we've shut the water off. We're in the city main right now. That's why you see that huge volume of water running by. So this is where the pipe ends, and this dumps into the city. So that's the huge city pipe right there, as you can see. So now as we back up on the system here, we'll go ahead and pull back just to make sure we don't find any other root intrusions. Now we are out in the street, However, in the city of San Diego, it is still the homeowner's responsibility to maintain the line of root intrusions. So we're hoping not to find any more problems with that, because that's just added thing that has to be maintained. Little pocket of water right there, just hanging out on the bottom of the pipe. It's not a problem. That's the green belt PVC pipe. That's why that's green in color. So we're coming back across. So right there's the little lip on that pipe. So you can see that there's some standing water in the line here. So the angle that they had to use on the system here created a little bit of a gap. And that's what's holding up that little bit area of water you can see we just came out of, and that's what held our camera up initially. So we are now going to go ahead and pull back to about the 41-foot mark on our machine. That's where the cast iron that is flaking and falling apart had a root intrusion in it. So it doesn't exactly have to be repaired right now again, because it's still not a heavy intrusion, and the line is still intact and functional, but in the future eventually it's going to have to be done, besides some of the other immediate repairs needed in the crawl space. So we're coming back up to our root intrusion here with the failing cast iron. So that's right here. Here's those fine roots all getting in from the wall of the cast iron that's cracking and falling apart. So we're going to pause the video and locate. Okay, we've located these roots in the sewer line. The pipe is very shallow. It's only about 19 inches deep, 1 foot 7 inches. It's in the front yard. When you come through the front gate going towards the house, it's on the right-hand side. We've got it marked, and we're going to paint the ground and put a stake in the ground denoting the roots and the depth of the pipe, and we'll pull our camera out and show that. So this one area is the one area that is going to eventually again need to be repaired, but again the rest of the pipe is so old there's a good chance that in doing this repair they're probably going to have to continue down the line in both directions for quite a way. We're going to go ahead and pause the video one more time. We're going to go ahead and move this camera back down the pipe to mark and locate where the cast iron is ending. Okay, we apologize. It looks like we left our recording going. This sewer line right here is in the very corner of the yard, the very front by the edge of the sidewalk, and we'll bring our camera down to show that and where the roots are. We're now going to pause the video and pull this camera back and then look at the kitchen line. Okay, we've moved over to the front yard with our camera, and we just want to show here. So that red disc and that red disc, that's the path of the pipe. You can see some green spray paint, and in the middle the big circular paint, and that sign, roots at 19 inches. That's where we're at. And as we scan over, right at the corner of the property, literally under that bush tree, that's where the line is headed, and that's where the cast iron ends. Right before it actually literally gets to the sidewalk, that's the path of the pipe, and that's how far you'd have to eventually go to change out all the cast iron from the very corner there all the way back, obviously, to under the house. So we're now going to pause the video and move this camera to the kitchen. Okay, we're now here outside the kitchen. We do have a clean out. We have a very small camera here, so there's not a guarantee we're going to be able to inspect the entire line because it is all original 2-inch cast iron pipe, but we'll go ahead and give it an attempt. This pipe is all in the crawl space, so it's not a huge thing to actually have to eventually change this line out. And we didn't see any active leaks on the line, so you can see we've lost our image, but just the debris that's in the pipe. We're going to run a little bit of water if we can't push all the way through. We'll see, we're pushing down the line right now. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pause the video and run a little bit of water. Okay, so we've got water running. So again, we know this is old 2-inch cast iron. We don't know the last time, of course, it's ever been snaked out or anything. So there's just a good chance there's just a heavy amount of buildup and debris in the pipe, and the line is going to need to be cabled or snaked at some point in the future. So you can see we have water running down the system right now. So there we go. So it is draining out. We're going to see if we can continue down the line or not. Looks like we're coming up to some buildup again, or another hard turn here. So image is still kind of gone. It's kind of coming and going. You can see right there we got a lot of debris on our camera lens. So eventually that'll kind of wash off with the water. I think we may already even possibly be into the main sewer by now. So you can see the line is draining. So we were able to get the camera all the way out. So it is functional right now. Again, we can't guarantee how long with this old cast iron before it eventually may have to be snaked or cleared, but it is open all the way, and we're able to get this camera actually through the piping. So continuing out, see if we can get a little bit more of that washed off for when we come back. Here we go. So we're out quite a ways. Now I'm going to keep the water running and pull the camera back. We'll see if we lose our image or if we see anything really, really thick with buildup. We were in the main sewer pipe itself. Now we're in the small 2-inch line. You can see water's cascading through the line without a problem. So you can see there's obviously, we expect some buildup and mounds on the side walls, but the camera was able to get through, so that's a good sign. So we're back outside now. So the line is clear on there, and that concludes the recording for this property.